Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cricket Castaway. This is Saturday morning before the final, and you're gonna have two videos from us now coming back to back. One is the one we're doing right now, which is the India versus England review, and we've got a lot to talk about this one, and then we'll move on to the South Africa versus India finals. So, first of all, how are you, Divyansh? And we're finally in another final ICC event. This is third final back to back with the T20 final, this one, and the 50 over final, and then the Test World Test Championship final. How are you feeling? What are your first emotions right off the bat?
Feeling excited with a certain level of nervous energies, obviously, because in the last year, this is the third final that that India is going to get into, including the WTC final against Australia and the ODI 2023 World Cup final against again Australia, and we lost both of them. So
Yeah.
that factor is at least in our favor that we don't have Australia to face in this one. So yeah, that's one optimistic thing.
Yeah. Uh, and I think we'll talk about the final at length in the next video. But the game that we've just had yesterday, England, it looked to be a tricky final, to be honest. We were beaten by England, more or less the same side. Both of them were playing from 2 years ago, with a few changes here and there. But just the way England downed India in the Melbourne, it was Melbourne or Sydney semi-final. We've taken the same approach. It looked like a very one-sided game in the second half. What do you think about the game overall? And then we'll get into the details.
Yeah, definitely we have progressed a lot from that semi-final of 2022. And if we look at the comparisons, the score was more or less same. It was 168 in that match that India set up in 20 overs, and then England just chased it very comfortably with 10 wickets to spare in 16 overs itself. So that was kind of a beating that we got, and from there on I saw a shift in change of approach, and it clearly reflected in our 2023 World Cup campaign. So it was sort of like Rohit Sharma took it upon himself that this team needs to be more aggressive in the limited over formats, because this is how the teams are playing right now. And if we stuck to the orthodox approach, this is not going to work at all. And now we are seeing the results of that approach. We reached the finals of the ODI World Cup, and we now have reached the finals of this T20 World Cup as well. So the
Yeah,
fortunes have changed significantly in the last 2 years.
yeah. I completely agree with what you've said here because if you look specifically at that semi-final and this one, the biggest differentiator was the pitch itself. So that was a good pitch, a batting friendly pitch. And on that pitch, a score of 168 was probably 20 or 30 runs short from what it should have been. And that meant the scoreboard pressure never came into play, and England could just bat around in the first 5, 6, 7 overs. And that gave Joss Butler, and probably it was Alex Hales at that point of time, opening with Butler. And they just built their partnership, and then it was no stopping them. While in this one, Rohit and Rahul, both of them have come out and said that they thought that the par score was around 140, but they did manage to get 172, 171, which really was a big score on this slow and low pitch, and that meant the scoreboard pressure then was there from the first ball of the second innings, and
Yeah,
uh,
that's
and yeah, so that is basically the difference. It's just the approach, the way India has batted itself in the post that semi-final era. So in the 50 over World Cup as well as this T20 World Cup, it's just completely different approach, and it's paying dividends.
Yeah, definitely that approach and shift in mindset has done the trick for India. So if we look at the scorecards of that match, so look at how different the strike rates are. So Hales made 86 on 47 balls, and Joss Butler made 80 on 50 balls. And if you look at the Indian side, Virat Kohli played a good knock, but it was really low in terms of strike rate. He made
Yeah,
50 runs on 40 balls, and Rohit Sharma made 27 runs on 28 balls. So that was the major difference. The kind of approach that we took at that time was not up to the standards of T20 cricket, how T20 is evolving right now. And if we look at
yeah,
this, the scorecard of this semi-final, Rohit Sharma made 57 on 39 balls. Uh, Despite this being a much slower pitch than the Melbourne cricket ground, still the we can see the significant difference
yeah,
in the strike rate of our openers. Even
yeah,
Surya played a knock of more close to 130, 140 strike rate, and
yeah,
Hardik and Ravindra Jadeja played in close to 180 strike rates. So these are the kind of strike rates that we need right now in T20, and it's a game of risk and reward. You have to take calculated risk to reach a total that is comfortable for your bowling side. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it's said many a times before, but a team is an extension of the personality of its leader. So when it was MS Dhoni's team, you could see it actually on the field as well. The team was very calm, composed. It battled its way till the last over and never lost its composure. Then when Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri came to the helm, the team was fiercely aggressive, and you could see they would even fight on the pitch sometimes. It was just an extension of Virat Kohli, that team. And now it looks like the way that Rohit himself is leading this side. It's casual, it's calm, they're not worried that much, but the approach and the intent is for all to see. I mean, he lays the marker right from the first ball. He is willing to put the opposition under pressure from the word go, and doesn't matter if they lose a wicket or two, and but they just keep on going. And kudos to Rohit, I mean, for that, because it's easier said than done, because it's not that easy to every time if you consistently doing it and failing, the kind of pressure the Indian cricket team is, from the media, from the fans, from the Twitter trolls and everyone. And if it doesn't come off fairly regularly, they'll start criticizing you. They'll say that you're just throwing your wicket away, and there's no place for you in this side, which is strange to see, because now that Kohli has not performed in a few matches, everyone is already starting a chatter in the background that Kohli is probably done, which is, for me, it's a bit strange, but whatever it is. So then, in that kind of a pressure environment, to keep that approach and keep your mindset clear that no, whatever happens, we have to go ahead with this approach. When it gives you rewards, it gives you a 171 on a 140 pitch, and that changes the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's similar to what we have seen with the baseball. So its
Yeah,
fundamental is the same. You keep going, even if a few wickets fall. You don't get into the mindset of now I should save some wickets and consolidate, and then at the end we will try to accelerate the innings. This mindset has changed.
yeah, yeah. I think let's start from the very early on of the game. So this pitch was low and slow, and we all saw that. The six that Kohli hit over long on, it was a good shot, but the ball was fairly up. It was round about his it was the ball was fairly up, and he could easily slog it, and he got his eye under the ball, and he could see the ball and hit it. But the next ball on which he got out, the intent was clear. He wanted
Yeah.
to hook that ball. He wanted to hook that ball onto the six, but the thing was that the ball kept a bit low, and Kohli, they hadn't spent that much time on the pitch. It was obviously he had spent 4 or 5 balls, but he couldn't really gauge the bounce exactly of the pitch, and the ball just kept. It was a right shot at a wrong pitch, I thought. Uh, and that meant the ball kept a bit low and it went under his bat and he got out. After that, Pant also tried to do a few things, but didn't work out for him with the bat as well. But it was Rohit and Surya's partnership for me, which did major damage to England hopes because they just batted like they were batting on a different surface.
Correct, and even the break due to the rain didn't even deter their concentration or their intent. They just picked up where they left off at the end of the eighth over, and again when the game resumed, they just took a couple of balls to see because it was Adil Rashid, and then they just started attacking, and they kept on going the way they were doing before the break. The rain interrupted play. So I think that's a really great sign for the Indian team that we have players that can continue the way they started and play their natural attacking shots, and especially Surya, the kind of shots that he manufactures took even a very effective T20 bowler like Chris Jordan by surprise, because it's not easy to hit those slower ones from slower bouncers from Chris Jordan, but uh, Surya just took on his scoop shot and he hit it for a six. So that
Yeah.
kind of upsets the rhythm of the bowler, and now they go into the thinking mode of how we can counter this kind of attack. So
Yeah.
kudos to the Indian middle order, and especially Surya.
Yeah, I think they both had a terrific partnership, and for me, that partnership was a game changer. But then, when first Rohit got out, and then Surya trying to again, he was nearing his milestone of 50, but decided not to reach 50 first, and but go for that hit when you see the ball. And he got out on long on, but got a catch on long on, but that showed again the intent with which this team bats. They're not concerned about milestones. They want to put the more number of runs on the board. But after that, the way so first Jadeja was promoted up the order. Hardik and Jadeja both came to bat before Shivam Dube, which I thought at that point of time when I was watching the game, I thought it was not the right option because there were very few overs left, and probably we needed Shivam Dube at that point of time to slog and take the run rate even more up, up, and up. But at the end, it turned out to be the right decision because the way Hardik batted and specifically those two sixes in that Jordan over. I mean, that did give India that end last over impetus to reach to the total that they did because you remember we were both talking during the game and I said that if we can reach around 170, I think that would be a really fighting total, and they did eventually manage to get that, which was I think pretty impressive the way that they did.
Yeah, looking at the sluggish nature of the wicket, it was really impressive the way Hardik, Akshar, and Jaddu gave that final push. So I was just totaling. So like all together they managed, three of them together they managed to score 50 runs on the 28 balls they faced. So it's almost a strike rate of 200. So
Yeah,
that kind of push that you get from in the last 3 or 4 overs, that really made a difference. Because I understand if it was near 150, I think England could have chased it better. They could have spared some balls to just get adjusted to the pace, to see the conditions. But since the score was 170, so the pressure was them right away in the power play to not lose any balls and just go with the asking run rate, which was already hovering around 9.
yeah,
So that's the difference that score made.
yeah. What do you think at the halfway point with the score that was on the board? Did you think that it was going to be a bit tricky? Did you think India was ahead of the game at that point, or did you think that it was very balanced at that point of time?
I thought it was very balanced at that time, because I thought in England also have a very attacking opening pair, and if they take their chances and they can convert them, even if they score 50 runs in the power play, that would be a good head start to
Yeah,
chase the total. But
yeah,
we also saw what happened in the power play, and then and there, like, the game was virtually finished in the power play itself.
yeah, yeah. I think first of all, to start with, the way Josh Butler was batting at that point of time, though for me, I thought India were probably a bit ahead in the game, and I thought that the pitch was only going to get slower, and that meant that our spinners would eventually come into play. I thought that India would probably start getting into the game after the 10th over mark when the pitch really starts to die down, but the way Josh Butler started that innings, I mean, it looked like, as you were saying, if he hadn't got out at that point of time, they probably would have got 50 or 60 runs in the first 5, 6 overs, and that would have put real pressure on India. But as we have seen so many times in T20 cricket, you can lose one batter in the power play, you can lose two batters probably at the power play, but if you lose three, four, or five, then that game is very hard to claw back into, and that's I think what England did at that point. If they would have just stopped the seepage of batting in the power play, probably the things would have been different.
Yeah, correct. You cannot claw your way back if you are three down on 35 within 5 overs of the match. It's very hard to then take the control of the chase, and you are always catching up on the run rate. What to do? Do we consolidate right now and take it deep, or should we at least score a boundary per over till the 15th? So a lot of calculation starts happening in your mind, and it takes away the clarity that is required for a chase like this. So yeah, a
Yeah,
really brilliant stroke of bowling from Akshar Patel in the
yeah.
power play.
Yeah, I think it was a pitch just made for Akshar and Kuldeep. Like they couldn't have asked for a better pitch in this kind of a situation. Though I would say that Akshar, I think probably just was a bit lucky in that, because Josh Butler didn't even wait for two or three deliveries. He wanted to put Akshar under pressure right from the first ball, and he didn't see or gauge the pace of the pitch against the spinner while playing that reverse sweep, and that meant that he was too early into the shot. The ball came onto him a lot slower than he would have thought, and then it just sat up, and Rishabh took that catch. And Josh Butler was really, really the key for England in this one, because he is their big game player. And Harry Brooks probably was batting very well. And if Josh would have been there with him, things could have been different. But Josh got out, and then Bairstow and Akhtar was a clear matchup, which played down to the T. How do you think Akhtar bowled? And then we'll come to Kuldeep.
Yeah, Akshar bowled, like he's really clever gauging the pitch and the pace of the pitch. So I was reading his interview after the match uh, concluded. So he said he intentionally slowed down his bowling by 8 to 10 clicks, so that it syncs with the slowish nature of the pitch. So the pitch was already slow, and if he also bowls slightly slower and gives more air to the ball, and just keep it within the wickets, this can help him. So that's what happened against Josh Butler as well as Johnny Bairstow. So he bowled right on the off stump, and because he was bowling 10 clicks slower, and the bounce on the pitch was not really there. It was really low, so that's why it sneaked under the bat of Johnny Bairstow, and took the off stump. Similarly with Josh Butler as well. Like you said, he was too early in the shot. So along with the pitch, Akshar also had a part to play in there, because he was bowling 10 clicks slower. So that's why Josh was quite early into the shot, and it took the leading edge of Josh's bat. Otherwise, it might have been slipped down to the leg gully or somewhere, even if
Yeah,
it is not timed well. So yeah,
yeah,
quite a clever guy he is.
yeah. I mean, also because it's one thing to bowl slow, but it's another thing to keep the ball on a flatter trajectory so the ball
Yes.
doesn't stay that much in the air, but it's still slow in pace. So that is the kind of change Kuldeep has made in his bowling as well in the past few years. Before that, he would bowl loopy deliveries with a lot of the ball in the air most of the time, and that gave batsmen a bit more time to adjust to the length of the delivery and take it on. But because he was bowling it slow, but he was bowling it flat, that meant that the batsman was already on the back foot trying to hit it, and probably couldn't judge the length of the ball and the slowness of the pitch. Then the grip that the ball got from the pitch at that point of time meant that it made a lot of difference. A lot relied on this game on Phil Salt as well, and India had a clear plan against him. He's such a good batsman on the offside, but not that great on the leg side. And Bumrah just kept bowling on his legs, trying to test him to take him on the onside, and that again didn't happen. So I think overall. Before we obviously move to Kuldeep because he was one of the game changers, but overall, India had a great bowling plan again in place on this kind of a pitch to tackle all the threats that England could pose.
Yeah, definitely, because as Dinesh Karthik was saying in the commentary box, Rohit Sharma is a man of stats, and he really goes down into the statistics available before the match, and they try to formulate their strategy, identifying data backed weak areas and short selection of the players. So I think that kind of groundwork also really helped. So he does all this analysis, and then he goes with his gut on the ground. If things are not going well as per the data that they have looked at, he goes with his gut feeling. So it's a mix of both the strategies that really works for Rohit Sharma, and his bowling changes are second to none in this tournament. Like the
Yeah,
changes that he have made, like he experienced that in the last match against Australia. Hardik Pandya was going for runs when he was
yeah,
brought back after the power play, but so that's why he changed that strategy this time, and he only brought Hardik Pandya in the 15th over till the time like the match was already done. So
yeah,
these kind of bowling changes are just brilliant to see.
yeah. And again, the type of options that we have talked about. So there was a guy who commented on our previous video that why are we sticking with Jadeja? But it's that kind of a match where he wants that option because in the post-match press conference, Joss Butler also admitted that he probably made a bit of a mistake not bowling Moeen Ali on that kind of a pitch, because
Right.
Moeen Ali was the kind of bowler that could have given them a lot of joy on that kind of a pitch. But because India had 12 overs from genuine spinners in their ranks, they used them. And that meant that Bumrah got an over less, but probably they didn't need Bumrah to bowl that much in this kind of a game.
Yeah.
But moving on to Kuldeep, I mean, uh, there was a phase in 2016, 2017, 2018 when we had the Kulcha combination. And Chahal was probably much more ahead of Kuldeep in that point of time, though they were both bowling in tandem and bowling pretty well. But then Kuldeep got out of the side, had to work on his game, try to understand his bowling a lot better. Again, as we talked about, he stopped flighting the ball that much, gave it a flatter trajectory, changed his action a bit as well. But oh my God, the way he has come back into this setup right now, along with Bumrah, I think he is clearly the most important bowler in that lineup. Him and Bumrah are the two pillars of this bowling lineup.
Yeah, definitely. And what makes them similar is they are both very difficult to read. What delivery
Yeah,
they are going to bowl into. So, like you pointed out earlier, Kuldeep used to bowl those loopy deliveries, and the speed was also slightly on the lesser side. So it gave batsmen the time to read based on the revs that the ball is getting in the air. But now, since he is faster, he bowls a flatter trajectory. So the only chance that the batsman get is to read it out of his hand. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to judge
yeah,
what kind of delivery is coming. Is it a
yeah,
genuine off spinner or is it a dusra? You can't really read that.
yeah,
So that's the kind of changes that Kuldeep has made, and similarly, Bumrah, as we all know, he has mastered on his own
yeah,
in the guidance of Zahir Khan and
yeah,
Malinga. So he keeps inventing new deliveries. The kind of in dipper that he bowled to Phil Salt, which took his leg stump away, it was again a master stroke because he
yeah,
was wearing so much. Of his speeds at every delivery. Sometimes he's bowling at 142, another delivery is 127. Then again, he brought it up to 132, and then the delivery that he got the wicket, he bowled it at 117, and it is
yeah,
turning also. So it was a master class of
yeah,
variations and mixing your balls. So
yeah.
so that's
And
the
both of them have an economy of less than five in this
yes.
World Cup. So Bumrah comes at the top, bowls two overs. Then Rohit keeps him for the 17th and the 19th. Kuldeep in the middle, balls four over. So these are the 8 overs where the opposition is scoring at less than run a ball. And in a T20 game, if you're getting 8 overs out with less than eight ball runs and over, I mean, you probably have the higher chance of getting the opposition under 175 most of the time. And if a pitch is like the pitch that was in Guyana, I mean, there is just no getting away from it. I mean, these are world-class bowlers that will get you at every stage of the match, and you're always under constant pressure. So I really admired the way Harry Brook was batting. He's certainly, in my eyes, a future star of England, and probably even a future captain. Just a lot of potential, but he kept losing wickets constantly. Moin couldn't stay in the game. Bairstow couldn't stay in the game, and it was ultimately a lone battle which he lost. Livingston. If that I thought that if that partnership between Brooks and Livingston could have stayed on for a bit longer, probably they could have gotten the game a bit deeper. But ultimately, what it felt like was, as you rightly said in our conversation as well, that England probably seemed to have gone into self-destruct mode, and The two run outs at the end probably just proved your point.
Yeah, definitely. And especially the ball that Harry Brook got bowled out, it was also a brilliant piece of bowling from Kuldeep. So, right before that ball, Harry Brook reverse swept Kuldeep for a four. And Kuldeep, he bowled a similar looking ball at the same trajectory, but it didn't spin at all and went straight into the wicket. So and
Yeah,
Harry Brook had no idea because he failed to read him
yeah,
out of his hand, and he thought
yeah,
he was, and he played for the spin that it will spin slightly, and again he will play the same reverse sweep at least for a couple of runs, and that's where
yeah,
he was outfoxed by the Kuldeep. So
yeah,
that's a really interesting period of time, like watching Kuldeep bowl and
yeah,
spinning his web around in the
yeah.
England batters. It was really joyful.
Yeah, and you can see how much that wicket meant to him because for other wickets he wasn't probably celebrating that much he did for Harry Brook because he was the danger batsman at that point of time, and he just bamboozled Harry Brook. To be honest, I mean, as you rightly said, both balls pitching in the similar space, and if the ball would have turned slightly a bit more, it would have come to Harry's bat again, and probably he would have reversed swept it. But the ball kept its trajectory and went straight for the wickets, and it was amazing piece of bowling. So I mean, yeah, in all, a great day for Indian cricket. We are now in a third final in 2 years. We don't have that much of rub of a green, as they call in the finals of ICC men's events. But this is again a new hope that the trophy is coming home. So we'll talk about the final in the preview in the next episode, which will happen in a short while. But initial thoughts. What do you think about that game and South Africa in general?
Yeah, I think what gives us a little bit of an advantage is that South Africa do not have any experience of playing in a final, and India being hardened right now after playing three finals in the uh, like three or four finals in the last couple of years. This will be the fourth one. So India is has been consistently reaching the finals and the knockouts of every world event. So yeah, a bit more experience in terms of handling that kind of pressure. And this very similar team has been in the finals of ODI 2023 World Cup as well. So they know what mistakes they committed, and what not to think about while playing the game. So I was also reading on the Crick Buzz that Rahul Dravid was giving a statement that this team is now in a zone which is unfazed of what might happen, because they committed the mistake of taking too much pressure in the 2023 World Cup. Now they are kind of in a zen mode that we will see what will happen, and let's just play our game. So this kind of attitude, when a team gets into, it's really tough for the opposition to beat them. So
Yeah.
that's my thought process.
Yeah, I think fingers crossed for the next one. So guys, this is the Cricket Castaway. It's India versus England review. Do tune in to our next episode, which will be live very soon, where we talk about India, South Africa, what will be the key matchups, and where do we see this game going, and how do we see the pitch behaving. So it's going to be a good one. I think it'll be an interesting and engaging episode, and you'll all love it. So keep pouring in the love, keep pouring in the comments. Just subscribe the channel, click on the bell icon so that you can get the notification of every time we upload a new video. And yeah, see you on the other side. Divyansh, any final comments?
Yeah, see you in the final preview, and keep watching, keep subscribing, and keep sharing our videos, and keep commenting. Have a good
Yeah,
day.
Bye bye.